weeks. Nothing. Bare minimum. No heavy lifting. No adult activity of any sort. No tampons. Hello. Rest. Keep an eye on it. If it starts bleeding really bad, I'll have to go in. It would be so fun to have to be put in the hospital for complications from a cervical biopsy that everybody told me that I was being a baby about, and that I was making too big of a deal about it, that it wasn't no big deal. It wasn't that bad. They do 1 million of them at a time down there. Well, obviously it is a big deal. Even if you follow your instructions that they send you home with, you can still have problems with it. Just like I got on here and said, everybody's different. Everybody's pain tolerance is different. Everybody's tolerance for procedures is different. Some people heal up within a few days, and some people, like me, that has lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, it takes us longer to heal. Our bodies just don't snap back like everybody else. And then we try to snap back, our mind wants us to, and we end up injuring ourselves. Thank you for the goat. And I wasn't being a baby about nauseating pain. Like, I felt like somebody had gut punched me. I wanted to throw up. That's how bad it hurt. And I'm not a wimp. I've had babies. I've had pain level 15. But that pain was so bad that I wanted to throw up, and I wasn't even like that when I was in labor. So that tells you how bad that was. And I was up all night. I think it's 3 or 4 o'clock this morning when I finally went to bed. I went to sleep because I couldn't be still. My stomach was cramping so bad. And things that they don't tell me. Oh yeah, it was 20 times worse than a migraine, and I get them all the time for like 7 to 8 days, sometimes longer. I can't see. My head's just pounding from right here all the way back behind my neck. So I know migraines. And I'm still hurting really bad. But things they don't tell you about a biopsy, that's routine and something that you have to do. It can damage your cervix. It can cause it to narrow. It can cause you to have infertility problems. It can cause you to have miscarriages or your cervix to open prematurely in pregnancies. And they don't tell you none of that when you go and have them done. And I just wonder the last 3 pregnancies that I've had so much trouble with, if that was the reason why. It can also cause problems with your cycle. We're talking about women's health here. If you don't want to hear it, just go away. I mean, you don't have to. It can damage your eggs. It can damage them. Whatever eggs you got left, it can. They don't tell you none of that. They don't tell you none of the risk of it. They don't give you a pamphlet to read over before you sign a piece of paper saying that they're not liable for any of this shit that's going to happen to you post-op. And they don't even tell you. They're just like, oh, it's a routine thing that you have to do for cervical cancer. It's your cervical cancer screens. It's just routine. Why do they lie to us about shit? Just like tubal ligation. They try to talk us out of it, but they never tell us why. They never tell us that you can get a syndrome from having your tubes tied that will cause complications and eventually cause you to have a hysterectomy. And they don't. No, I don't have any plans. And they don't tell us nothing like that. They don't tell us that it can cause irregular bleeding, that it can cause behavior changes, mood swings. That it can just cause you to be physically ill. Your periods will be so bad that you'll be asking for a hysterectomy. And it can also cause you to have growths on your ovaries and in your uterus, such as fibroids or tumors. And they don't tell you none of that when you have it done. You're messing with something that naturally flows in your body to prevent you from being pregnant. You're leaving part of it in and taking part of it out. And it never works out good. Hey. I think, if you're really done with having children, there's no sense in keeping none of it. There's no sense in keeping your uterus and having a period every month if you no longer want to carry a child in it. It's just, making you go through misery for nothing. That's my opinion on it. And also, they should be honest about the shit that's going to happen to you. Because my doctor never told me, when she was pressuring me to have my tubal ligation, she was pressuring me into signing consent to have it done when the day I found out that my baby was going to be stillborn. And she wouldn't tell me the side effects of it. She's like, oh, we'll take the tubes out so it lowers your risk of having ovarian cancer. And there's a 0 chance that it'll fail. Well, that's not true, because there's a woman on TikTok, for other reasons, had her fallopian tubes removed due to damage, and she got pregnant naturally. So there is no such thing as a 0 fail rate. And you can still get ovarian cancer with your tubes removed. So that's another lie. And then I'm like, well, is it true that it makes you have heavier periods? She's like, it can, but most women are fine with it, trying to brush me off and gaslight me. And I said, well, what if it does? She wouldn't even tell me what would happen if it did, what the treatment plan would be. If I couldn't tolerate my periods, it's already freaking god-awful. I have endometriosis. She said, oh, well, we'll just put you on birth control pills if your periods are really heavy. What is the point of getting sterilized if you're supposed to go on damn birth control pills if you can't even take ones with estrogen in it anyway? Gonna put me on birth control pills if I have complications from having a tubal ligation. Does that make good sense to y'all? Because it don't to me. They just lie about everything. But I did my research, but it's too late. I've already had 10 freaking biopsies done. I'm not a doctor either, but I would never gaslight or lie to my patient if I was, because that's just freaking wrong. I was told that it would be very difficult, if impossible, when I was 17 to ever have children of my own. I miscarried my first one at 16. I got pregnant again at 19 and had my first daughter at 20 via C-section. I had a miscarriage in between her and her brother. I had him at 21, and then I had another daughter at 22. And then I had my fourth son at the age of 26. I mean, my fourth baby at the age of 26. And then I was done with children. Go. Don't be pestering me. I was done having children. I wasn't having any more. I had a complication infection due to life. And they're like, your tubes are scarred. You're sterile. It's like a tubal ligation. Your egg can't pass through fallopian tubes, through your ovaries, out to your uterus. So you can't have any more children. So 7 years after I had that last baby at 26, at 29, 30, I got pregnant again. Wasn't trying to get pregnant. Had no relationship with the man that got me pregnant. Didn't want one. He was a real asshole. He still is a real asshole. Well, after I got pregnant, out of spite, I just made his life a living hell. Because he was just an asshole to me. Well, he convinced me to move in with him and try to be a family, and that was the biggest fucking mistake I've ever made in my life. I should have never done that. Because it was a scheme, it was a plan to draw me in. You know, get my trust, get close to my daughter, be a part of her life where he could just take her when he got ready. It was all planned out, and I have messages to prove it. I'm not a crazy person that just delusional makes this up in my head and tells all y'all that this man, along with his family, planned, plotted, and schemed to take that baby from me from the minute he found out I was pregnant. I have messages where he talked to some other woman for months to do such things. And by the time I found it, I had already been living with him for 2 years. And I had no out. When I tried to get out, I lost my baby. And then I lost the other one. It left this earth, went back to heaven. It was born with angel wings. So, when I went to the doctor's office to get my pregnancy test for my youngest daughter, they're like, congratulations, you're pregnant. I'm like, wait a minute, you told me that was impossible. You told me that was impossible. And when I tell you I got lightheaded and I wanted to fall out in that damn floor in that doctor's office when they told me I was pregnant. And they give me this little booklet and pamphlet and this little bag, you know, welcome to pregnancy shit, done a bunch of blood work while I was in there and everything else. I wanted to faint. Now, and it could happen again. It could, because I'm not going through menopause yet. I don't believe it will, because I think you actually have to have interactions with somebody other than yourself for that to actually happen. And I don't, because people get on my ever-loving spot where the nerves was. You know, when we're born into this world, before all the bullshit, we have about 12 little nerves that sits down there. And as we age and people start to doing more bullshit and lies and manipulating and just being complete, total evil people. Go ahead! Now, you're knocking shit over. All them nerves start breaking or running away until you got your last little bitty one just hanging on by a thread over there. And then you'll meet somebody that just squishes it, like a squishing a spider. And that last nerve is gone. So now everybody just gets on them little empty spaces where them nerves used to live. They don't get on my last nerve. They get on the old home of my nerves. Thank you. So with that being said, I'm not going to put myself in a position to have my feelings hurt ever again. And I will be a nun. Don't want none, don't need none, ain't looking for none. A nun. I am content. This is the year I turned 35. I was born in 90. Everybody's like, you're still young. I don't feel that way. I've had a lifetime of living already. I'm just tired. But anyway, we're waiting for this bad storm to blow through. It probably just rain a little bit of thunder, and it'll be gone. I wish you'd quit. You can't have puppies with another girl dog dancing around like you're doing the damn two-step. Get your ass somewhere and lay down on her. I'm going to pick you back up. I ain't doing that today. Now you're aggravating the tar out of me. I graduated in 90. That's the year I was born. Anna doing the damn two-step, throwing her ass in a circle over here, about to pester the hell out of me. Quit! Knocking all my stuff off, throwing her ass around like she's trying to twerk it. Well, it ain't even come yet. They're saying it's going to come tonight. It ain't even come yet. Here in Alabama. How old is my daughter now? Which one? My first 4 children are older. In the double digits almost. All of them. My youngest daughter is 5. And I don't want to give up hope. I can't do that. No, I ain't got quit in me. Somebody told me that. You ain't got damn quit in you. You're too damn stubborn. Hard-headed. Ain't got no damn quit in you. Just keep on getting back up like you're rising up. Well, what am I supposed to do? Lay around in here and quit, Anna! Go lay your ass down somewhere. So sick of that. Them dogs are growling at you. I don't get somewhere to lay down. And I don't care where you get, but lay down and stop. I feel awful. I'm putting you up. I'm putting you up. When I say you do it again, you're going up. You're going to start a dog fight. I don't feel like it today. Go lay down. Last warning. I'm going to put you up. Lay down. Now. Yeah, but being in that survivor mode all the time, like you're in a constant battle or war, or you're trying to defend yourself. You got all these walls up, even with people that you don't need to have them up with. You got that distance. You're disconnected from people and things because you're trying to protect your sanity and your, physical well-being and all that. So you got all these defenses up, and you're just in a constant battle. And you get tired just, working towards something that you may never get. Yeah, you have to protect your inner peace. It's hard. And everybody that comes into your life just brings more war and dysfunction and hell with them. To the point that you just don't let nobody else in. You just keep that wall up and you just push them out, and you're like, you're not worth my time, because you know how it could end, how it is going to be. And that's why I do so much. But I can tell you, I have wanted to get off of TikTok, and that was the first time that I've ever wanted to get off of TikTok, is when this person that's posting all these videos about me, just out of context, make me look bad. Just like, there are probably 40 or 50 videos over there, and it don't matter how many times you report it, TikTok ain't gonna do nothing. But I have submitted something for copyright, so she's gonna have to pay me for every video she's got up of me, or take it down. They're gonna notify her within the next 72 hours that she owes me royalty for using my image in her videos. She's getting on there and putting the Fair Awareness Act. I'm not harassing or bullying anybody by making negative TikToks about them. Her name is Mom of Ringo. She's trying to say I'm dry bagging on here because I'm talking about my problems on here. Like, I expect anybody to just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you 15 grand and buy you a car. Fix your freaking house. Mom of Ringo. It's not even, it's like a scammer's page. It's got a picture of a cat on there. It don't have the real name on there. And all she does is go on here. And mind you, some of her, stop it. Some of them people on there are trying to make people on here buy them shit. But I don't. They're trying to say that y'all bought me donuts and coffee. No, you didn't. I overdrafted and bought that shit. First of all, I needed it because I had to put up with people. And I enjoyed them donuts, and I don't feel sorry one bit about buying them. Oh, I should have took that money that I spent on that and bought groceries with it. Okay. I did buy my groceries. I have a budget on my groceries. I go to Aldi's so I can stretch my budget, so I can have more food in my freezer and my refrigerator that I buy, that y'all don't buy, that I buy. And I know somebody got on here yesterday. Stop scamming people. Scamming people is when you tell somebody that you either have a product or some kind of lie to get them to send you money. I've never told any kind of lie to get any kind of money or proceeds off of anybody on here. Any kind of money has been just gave to me. Or not even to me. It goes into somebody else's PayPal account. I don't even get any money off of here. It's not deposited to me whatsoever. That's none of anybody's business. But there's somebody come on here yesterday and said, stop scamming people for food, beds, and something else. I don't remember what it was, something else. First of all, I bought my damn bed. It was $102 with the sheets. Second of all, I bought my own damn food and whatever else. The only thing is that a wonderful woman, in which it was a used phone that she no longer used, which is in pretty decent shape for as old as it is. And it works pretty good. I would like it because it's got a big screen in it. She donated her iPhone 11 to me because mine got broke trying to get it fixed. I sent it in to have it repaired at Apple, and they broke the screen. And I couldn't use it anymore. And I can't afford to pay $400 for a phone. It's just not possible for me. So she did send me her old iPhone. She wasn't using it. It was in a drawer. It was just sitting there. So I just put my SIM in it. And people have sent me stuff from Amazon, like a crock pot, and nobody ain't fucking getting it. I don't care what anybody says. I like my damn little crock pot. I can put shit in there and burn it. And have to... Nobody's saying I need anything. Nobody's saying I need a damn thing. I have food. I just got done eating. I didn't like them noodles, though. Them noodles are kind of ranky to me, but... No, it's somebody trying to make a name for themselves on here, making negative TikTok videos and bullying people. Well, there ain't no food banks in my county. You can't go to other counties and get food. I don't have a car. And I'm hardly entitled to any kind of food stamps because I have unearned income. But it doesn't really matter. How long have you been using? And what are you using? Because you think that it's appropriate to get on my TikTok live and start commenting about something that you obviously don't know nothing about and judging me when you obviously are doing it yourself. Just because somebody has had dental problems and lost their teeth does not mean that they are on something. You don't know what I've been through. You don't. But yes, you can judge me. So, my teeth was knocked out. It ended up taking me years to be able to afford to have them cut out. And they've been bad since I was 8 years old. I don't have to explain anything. Because that's my God-given right to not have to explain, and I shouldn't be judged for the way I look. Because that's bullshit. I don't have to explain to anybody. But if I did need food, I'm not telling anybody that does need to go to a food bank not to do it, that it's something you don't do. I've been in that condition before where we would have to go to food banks and get food and stuff. And we'd have to go get warm meals and stuff like that. Thank you. I have been in that place. So if you need it for your family, go and do it. There is no area in my county. Quit! So, with that, even if they don't deliver it to your house. You have to actually go and pick it up in your vehicle. I went to food banks with my grandmother she was getting food because she wasn't entitled to any kind of food stamps due to her income, but she would qualify for food boxes, her and my aunt. So I would take her to town 2 or 3 days a month, and she would get food boxes for her and my aunt. I couldn't get them because I lived out of county. They have federal rules that says that they can't give to anybody out of their county. So in my county, it's really poor, and they don't have the money to have like food banks and stuff like that. So we don't have them. But if you need it, go get it. I do qualify for a small allotment of food stamps, and I use it when I buy my food. That is my prerogative. May not have them much longer. They may start giving us some kind of commodity box like they used to. If you need it, get it. You know, that's what I say. Don't sit there and do without food because you're too proud to ask for help. Whether you're an elderly person or you got kids and you just can't make enough money to feed everybody. Groceries are high, the economy's shit, you know. It's not embarrassing, it's not making you lesser or trash to go and ask for help. Everybody's having a hard time right now. And like I said, I used to take my grandma around, and my great-grandma used to go to the United Way, and they would give out a commodity box. You would get this kind of cheese. It was like Velveeta. It was shelf-stable food, shelf-stable peanut butter, and shelf-stable milk. Everything in it was called a commodity box. And you get a shelf-stable ham. And it was just white. It looked kind of like rations. The government cheese was awesome. Yes, it was. That was some good-ass cheese. But that damn milk that they mix up and put in the refrigerator, I thought it was real milk. They put it in a damn milk jug, and I got me a big old gulp of that old powdered milk shit. Blech. The cheese was a bomb. And we'd get a big old metal tub of peanut butter. Thank you. We didn't get no damn butter. There wasn't no butter in there. We got beans, rice, a big old bag of powdered milk, peanut butter, cheese, and a canned ham. And that's it. It would be canned ham or canned pulled pork. And we'd take the pulled pork and we would wash the fat off of it. And we'd break it up and we'd put barbecue sauce on it and make us pulled pork sandwiches out of it. And those were the best damn thing. They'd give us powdered eggs sometimes. It wouldn't be every time, though. They'd give us powdered eggs. They never gave out perishable food. It was all like I said, doomsday food. Shelf stable. It wouldn't go bad. And they stopped doing that. United Way, just helps you get resources or maybe pays for you to go to the doctor, you buy your prescriptions or something like that. They don't really help with food anymore. They got away with the government boxes. And up there in Coleman, they're caring for kids. There's one church up there that gives food. I don't remember what the name of it is. I can see it. And then there's the Caring Center up there. I don't remember. I think that's what the name of it is. It's up there on by the stockyard. There used to be a lot more. There's like 3 or 4 places. Caring for Kids, the Daystar outreach thing. You can get food there, and then there's one other one. And there's probably a couple more. And there's a emergency food pantry at the Baptist Church Association. They didn't give us no bread. We didn't get no bread. If you wanted bread, you had to go buy it. They would, like I said, anything that would go bad or get mold on it, you wasn't going to get it. It was just in a little box, and you went in there, and you filled out something, and got a number, and then when they called your number, you just go in there and get it. And when my great-grandma would have to get on food stamps from time to time, she wouldn't draw them all the time. She thought it made her look bad, so she'd get on from time to time when we were struggling. And she'd send my mom in there as a proxy to pick them up for her and bring them to her because she was in her late 60s. And she didn't get around very good. So my mom would go in there to the DHR office. It was over there in the old part of town then by the courthouse before they moved it to the new building that they built over there in St. Joseph Street. And she'd go in there and pick up her food stamps for her. And they was food stamps. They come in a booklet. And they would look like little checks. And you would tear them out and you would write them out to whoever you was going to pay them to and sign them. It was already like in $10 or $20 amounts. Yeah. People got it so fucking easy now. We got a little card that just go swipe. We use it online to buy shit. You couldn't do that back then. And, you know, when I got WIC, it was vouchers. And that was the easiest thing in the world. It's vouchers that told you what you could get, what you needed to get. And now that it's all on a card, you have to call a card or print it out from a computer to be able to see what you're supposed to get. Or when I was pregnant with my son, that's the way it was. It was a card. But when I had my first kids, it was vouchers. Like food stamp vouchers used to be. And it seemed like it was so much easier, and that WIC stuff is so complicated. And when you're on disability and stuff, you're required to sign up for programs like that, no matter if you need them or want them or whatever. And it's so freaking time-consuming and a pain in the ass to shop for WIC products. Because the store will mark something that isn't a WIC product, then you have to take it back, or they'll not mark something that is a WIC product, and you can't find what you need, or it's the wrong size. It takes so freaking long. And then, like I said, they don't tell you anymore unless you get a printout. And then they don't even give you the booklets to say what's approved and what's not. So it takes hours to do it. I'd just rather not get it. The only reason I would get it is like if your baby had to have formula. And so they used to let you have 2% milk. 2% milk ain't that bad. You know, they wouldn't let you have full fat milk because it's not supposed to be good for you. I like full fat milk because I'm underweight and I need it. So now you have to get 1% or fat-free. And they give you like 5 or 6 gallons a month. I can barely drink a gallon a month. You don't need that much damn milk, y'all. But anyway, it's also really good for like the baby, if the baby gets on cow's milk. My daughter, she was a boob baby. She would not drink cow's milk. Hello. She would not drink cow's milk whatsoever. She acted like I was trying to poison her. She would make a face and spit that shit out. And my doctor was like, you really need to get her on cow's milk. She'd be like, bleh. Spit it out and just look at me like I betrayed her. Like, how freaking dare you? She'd set the cup down. She'd drink juice. She'd drink water. But she would not drink cow's milk. Quit! And everybody's like, put chocolate in it. Put chocolate in it. So I did. She still wouldn't have it. It was an abomination to her. She'd spit it out or hide the cup from me. She wasn't going to do it. She liked booby milk. Booby milk was bad. She was not going to have it. Get out of there. Thank you. So with that being said, it was a complete wash. They don't really, the cheese is something, but they only give you one pack. They gave you more cheese or something instead of all that damn milk. It might be worth doing it. But when you're like me and you got people showing out and trying to report you and shit, you have to go and get it. Because they'll report you and you'll be neglecting your child because you don't get the WIC. Why are you going to go and cry? I should be one going and crying the way I feel. My stomach hurting. Why you want to cry? I don't know what it's called, but I wanted to nurse my daughter and my newborn baby together. Nobody wanted me to. They thought I should wean my little girl at 1 year old. She didn't need it. Well, how do you know? Yeah, I wanted to do that. I never got to do it with any of my other kids because of situations and bullshit. And I never got to do it with her and her little brother because he didn't make it after everything. And she was ripped away from me. But on hindsight, right before I had my period, I make milk. Truthfully. Good for you. You can spell truthfully. Why don't you spell it about 16 more times on my live? And maybe we can That's truthfully. But there are a lot of people that get on WIC because they can't afford formula. And that's the main reason why people get on it. And it's like pregnant people that need milk and stuff. But I'm a little bit lactose intolerant, so I'm not going to drink no 5 gallons of milk. Well, I thought you was being a troll. I apologize. I'm a little bit irritated because of my uterus hurting due to ripping my biopsy incision out yesterday. And I'm in pain today. But I figured since somebody screen recorded me that I might as well look good on here. That way that I don't look like a troll on their videos that they're going to have to pay me for every one that they've got posted. Just keep on. Not pay me, but pay a family member of mine that's got the PayPal set up that's linked to this account. Hi. But I never got to do what I wanted to do with my babies because somebody else knew better. And to tell you the truth, everybody's saying that we're going to end up like the Handmaiden Tales. Honey, we're already the Handmaiden Tales. And everybody now just realizing that. The government takes our children away, places them with people just because they can, for money and influence. they're forcing women to have babies and then criminalizing us if something goes wrong or we decide we don't want to. I mean, there's nothing y'all can do. It's just like emotions and stuff that I have to go through. But if everybody just realizes now that we're going to end up like the Handmaid's Tale. Honey, we've been like this for the last 15 years. And nobody sees it because everybody believes all the propaganda bullshit that's been put out here in the world. And nobody terminates a pregnancy. I know I didn't. Later on in the pregnancy, after probably 12 or 13 weeks, unless it's not viable. There's something really bad wrong with the baby. Because I really wanted my baby. And I had to terminate my pregnancy at 17 weeks. Because it wasn't viable. I had a medical-induced abortion at a hospital. A smortion at a hospital. It took 2 days. And it was awful. And it probably done damage to my uterus and my cervix. But nobody goes all the way through their pregnancy like that. And then just decides, hey, I don't want to have that baby. Thank you. It just don't work that way. And you can't force anybody to be a mother. That's why we find babies abandoned. That's why that truck driver, he went home and on a piece of land in the wooded area, his property, he found a newborn baby wrapped up in a plastic bag. Him and his wife, they could hear it crying and thought it was a puppy. So I went out through the woods and found it. That's why this is happening. Now, I'm not neither way. I'm like, I believe everybody should do what's best for them in their situation. Yes, I believe you should try to prevent it at all costs. I don't believe you should use it just because you don't want to be an adult about things. Good afternoon. But if you're attacked or everything that you put into measures fails and it's going to have a horrible life if it's brought into the world, or it's going to cause you to lose your life, or it's just not going to be able to survive when it's born, I believe that you should have the right to do what you want to do. That's the best decision for you and your family. That's what I believe. Because if you force that person to do something that they don't want to do, or you endanger their life or take their life, you're just as guilty as they are. And it blows my mind what's going on in here. And in this world, I'm scared for my daughters. I have 3 of them. And 2 of them are almost of age. I'm scared for my little girls out here in this damn world. They could get an ectopic pregnancy, and they'll be like, well, we can't do anything because the law says that we can't. Your life don't matter. That fetus that is growing inside your fallopian tube is a person. And because we couldn't save the pregnancy, if we went in there and helped you, we're just going to have to wait till you rupture or get septic and then try to intervene. My mom had an ectopic pregnancy before she had my brother. It ruptured. She was in the hospital in a coma for 2 months. I didn't know she was going to live. It don't matter. All my kids are birth control babies. All of them. My first daughter, my son, my middle daughter, my youngest son, and my youngest daughter was all born using proper birth control. It don't matter what you teach your kids. Your kids ain't gonna go out here and keep their legs together with a damn penny in between their damn knees. That's just stupid. The only way not to be pregnant is not to do anything, and we ain't gonna do that. And our kids ain't gonna do that because they got more hormones and more impulses than older people does. An older person, sure, we can. But these young people got all these raging hormones and shit. They ain't gonna do that. They lie to us and tell us they ain't doing nothing, but they're gonna do stuff. And it don't matter. Some people are opposite with the birth control stuff. It don't matter what you get on, it fails. They're nothing 100%. And just because you get on here and preach, well, if they would use birth control, they wouldn't get pregnant. That is a lie. I know people that's had tubal ligations and got pregnant. Their husbands got a vasectomy. They got pregnant. There is no 100% way to keep from it. And things happen and people have complications. And a doctor needs to be able to treat people and save their lives, no matter if we're female or not. Yeah, I got pregnant with all of my kids except for the last one that passed on birth control. Yeah, I mean, for you to say to teach your kids to use birth control like that's gonna fix the fucking problem blows my damn mind. People need to educate themselves a little bit more before they start typing things. It does not work. Nobody's gonna be abstinent and just not do it. We ain't. We're gonna lie to ourselves. We're going to lie to ourselves and say we ain't going to do it. And then that one moment of freaking weakness where we're going to get talked into it. And there it is. Even if you take... And I took my birth control religiously because I did not want any more kids after my second baby. I didn't. Even though I was on birth control pills with both babies when I got pregnant. The first two. I took my birth control religiously every time that it was due, like clockwork. I had a timer set in my phone. I never skipped one day of it. Got pregnant every single time. That youngest boy, IUD. The other ones was pills. And as soon as I started taking birth control pills, with that, when I got pregnant with Kathy, as soon as I started taking them, the doctor had just called them in the week before and I'd started on them. So I think not taking birth control pills is the best way for me not to get pregnant again. That and stay away from men. Them two things. Because that second one is a sure thing that I don't end up that way again. I've never took the depot shot. They tried to make me in the hospital, and my lactation consultant at the health department told me not to take birth control pills right away, just to try to use wrappers or not do anything for a while because it would affect my milk production. And there's a lot of, and I wanted to breastfeed, so I didn't take it, but they was trying to push it on me at the hospital. First of all, I ain't gonna do nothing for 6 weeks. Second of all, I want a chance to try to breastfeed. I don't want a shot that can dry me up that lasts for 3 months. That there's no way to undo it. You know, if you got a problem with a pill, you can just stop taking it, and it'll go out of your system within 48 hours. But if you have an IUD or permanent birth control, like a depot shot, you can't just stop taking it and it'll go away. And a lot of people's had to have hysterectomies after having Depo. That's a bad, bad thing. My mom did. She had premenopause due to Depo. She went through the change of life. So, just because you want that to be the answer, it ain't. It's just not. And I wish it was. I don't ever believe that I will be a mom again. I don't. I really don't. I believe it'll just be me and the dogs here. And I'm trying to come with terms with that and everything that happened. And it's really hard on me. I didn't deserve what happened. I was a good mother. I wasn't abusive with my kids. I wasn't perfect. I'm not going to try to lie and say that I was perfect. But I did the best that I can. I didn't even have a mom. I would never do to my children what my mother done to me. I would never make them see me the way that I had to see her. I would never abandon them like she did me. I was forced out of their life. That's totally different. I wanted to be there. She did not. I sure wouldn't have traded my daughter to some man for a happy sack, as she called it, at the age of 12. I wouldn't have done none of that. Hey. So, I'm not a perfect mom, but I'm 100% better than my mother. And I have fought so hard to be in my kids' life, and I'm just pushed out further and further and further until I'm just non-existent. Been told that I'm not their mom, that their aunt's her mother, that I never wanted them, that I was on substances, and that's why I'm not there, and that's a fucking lie. I can pass any urine test going back 8 months. I ain't never done a damn thing, never wanted to. The reason why I don't have them is lies, manipulations, and a corrupt court system. Period. It was just what it was. And there will never be any change to it. I could go to court 1,000 times. I could mortgage and lose my property, paying lawyer fees. And the judge would always side against me because it's more money. It's more money through the courts. It's more money through the lawyers. And that's why they take children from people that really want them, because they keep on going back to court. And they keep on funding the schools and the county through the corrupt family court system. And they don't need any evidence. All they got to do is go in there and say, I don't like her. I don't like her. It's legal kidnapping, yeah. But the ones that are being mistreated, they don't do nothing. They don't put the ones in jail that need to be in jail. They just keep on getting away. Can you visit with them? No, they don't allow me to visit anymore. This is just, I'm talking about the older kids. They don't allow me to visit. I'm not allowed to have any kind of conversations with them. Not allowed to talk to them. And I have slipped up because I don't have no filter. And I realize when after I say something, I probably shouldn't have said it. Now, I've said a couple of times about going back to court and trying to get different custody arrangements. And I've said stuff in front of my kids, and I shouldn't have done that. And I realize I shouldn't have done that. But I don't have no filter, and it just pops out sometimes. But they have full conversations about grown-up shit that my kids should never fucking hear. I have a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Older child, and I have a 5-year-old. And I trusted them. And that's how they got one over on me. I trusted them. I really thought that they cared about me, but they didn't. And I don't have any proof how they manipulated the system other than people that seen it happen. Because I had a different phone system back then. I wasn't smart enough to get everything written down, recorded. But I heard and seen it with my own eyes. You don't know, no. You don't know what it feels like to have your child ripped out of your arms and I'm begging, screaming, and crying for you. And you're just powerless to do anything. It just makes you want to just be done with it. Did you say it every time you have a visit and they're screaming and saying that they want to go with their mommy? And you just sit in your car and you just cry. Because it just breaks your heart that you can't fix it, no matter what you do. Because they've already decided that you're just a piece of shit. Don't matter what you do. And they bring you in their office to tell you that you're a piece of shit and you need to move on with your life because a mother is not in the cards for you. You didn't do anything wrong. They just decided they was just going to take your kids. And my ex knew all this. And guess what? He plotted and schemed with other people to do the exact same thing to me about our daughter. He didn't care about our unborn child. He would just take it from me when it was born. Just like my little girl. They didn't care that the stress of it could kill the pregnancy. To kill my baby. Which it did. That I had to deliver. I was in labor for 2 days with my son. It won't. He'll never grow up. He'll never smile. It takes a special kind of fucking evil soul to know what somebody's been through, the hell that has tore them apart and just made them numb, and to do it to them all over again just because they can. And that's what they want to do. And everybody that doesn't understand what the state family court system is like, they'll be like, oh no, you had to do something, they had to prove. No, they don't, because if I had done something to my children, do you think that I would be free right now? Do you think that they would not have pressed criminal charges against me if I would have actually abused my children instead of just taking me to court and transferring custody to their daddy's relatives? They're lying, and the judge still says, well, we're going to side with what the worker wants to do. We feel at this time that it is the best interest of the child. Even though they was proved to not but have a safe home, have domestic violence, previous acts of abuse towards other children, they still said, we're going to rule against you, and we think it's in the best interest of your children. They had proven abuse allegations against them. The woman's stepfather had been put in jail for abusing one of the children that she allowed him to have. And as far as I know, that child is living with her mother and her stepfather right now. The same child that was abused. My daughter was SA'd by this woman's brother while she allowed him to live on the property with my children, knowing that he had mental problems. He had been institutionalized multiple times for physically assaulting family members. And they still said that was in the best interest of my children. She'd had multiple open cases, and they were just swept up under the rug. She'd left the kids at home unsupervised when they were pretty young, and they walked to a store. What would have happened if somebody had to took my daughter? What would have happened to her? Some pedophile had snatched her up. I would have never done that stupid shit. There was a brawl at Thanksgiving with her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. Very violent weapons. It was bad. Grandparents have rights here. Grandparents have rights in Alabama. I don't even know why they took my youngest daughter. They never told me. They just said whenever I got ready that I could go file for her. That's all they said. Oh, yes, they do. Google it. As that woman said over there about Social Security, or asked a family court lawyer, grandparents in Alabama have rights. Not in Tennessee, but here we do. They do. Not we do, because I ain't a grandparent, but they do. I did a while back. Get down. Move. There's a difference between taking in somebody's child and raising them if they're not able to do it themselves or not fit to do it themselves, than just to take somebody's child because you want to have control over them and you want to cut that person out of their life. That's just freaking evil. Now, if I would have physically abused my child, if I would have essayed my child, or I would have neglected my child and not gave them food or kept them clean or left them, just abandoned them, and went out on the town with a man, I deserve not to have my damn kids. But just because I married some shitty ass person and he mistreated me, does not give the state the right to take my babies away from me. Well, if I'd used smugs, I would deserve to have them took away. But I didn't. They smug tested me for down 16 months straight, and I always come back the same way. It's clean. They done hair follicle. They done urine analysis where they sent it off to the laboratory. Saliva test. Other kind of damn tests that they do. All of that shit. It was all clean because somebody said that my washing soap was rugs. And it's so wonderful to have somebody to watch you while you pee and you had to pull your pants all the way down to your feet. I don't need a bathroom buddy. Yeah, because they just want them. And it don't matter what you say, what you do, what you have. They'll keep on ruling against you because they can't be wrong. And unless you get a lawyer that's going to go in there and argue with them and call them out and cause a big old shit show in there and pull up everything under the sun on these people and make them look like a complete asshole, they ain't going to get nowhere. I found a lawyer like that. I can't afford him. I don't know if I'll ever be able to afford him. I'm trying to save up. And no, I'm not dry bagging for y'all to pay for my lawyer fees because that's not the way the world freaking works. But court-appointed lawyers, they don't care what's going on at court. They don't even have to show up. They're going to get paid. And sometimes they'll order you to pay the lawyer's fees after everything's said and done and your ass is handed to you. The lawyer let me be blindsided at freaking court with my daughter. They brought up some kind of old thing on a friend of mine, some kind of 20-year-old allegation alone, false allegation, from the CPS in another county, or in their same county. The girl that it was about, the child, he ended up adopting her through that county. He had to go to court in Coleman and get a piece of paper saying that it was expunged off of his record. He did not give me a copy, so I'll have to try to talk to him because we had a falling out and get a copy of it to give to my lawyer. But they brought that up in court saying that I wasn't making smart decisions about who to have my child around. First of all, she never even met that man. She was never around him. She was never in the same home with him. She never even rode in the vehicle with him or laid eyes on him whatsoever. I talked to him over his phone and seen him maybe a handful of times after I moved back to Coleman. Blowed my mind. It was something bad, but I already knew it. I act like I didn't know it. I kind of lied like they do in court. Like, oh God, I didn't know that. Well, you got to pick your friends, but so when they start that shit at court, I'll be like, bam, bitch, there's a copy of that paper that said that was just bullshit. And if you accuse him of that again, he's saying that he's going to bring a lawsuit against y'all for defamation of character. Because you're saying something against him that ain't so. That's what he told me. He says they brought it up again, that he was going to sue them. Sue their asses. That's what they need. They need to be sued. Take their asses to court, make them pay you restitution for pain and suffering, defamation of your character. Hell yeah, I wish I could sue them. Taking my kids away, causing all this pain and suffering and mental anguish. I'll get the paper. I'll talk to him, even though I can't hardly stand him. But I'll talk to him because it's for my kids. And these people that's got my kids ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. So it ain't about the money. It's about them taking kids away from good homes, getting money from the government, getting a bonus. Every child they place with family or in foster care, they get a bonus from the government. It was set up by the Clintons when they was in office. And also all the fees that go through the court, because every time you have to file a motion or refile something, that court's getting $300 or $400. But I found a lawyer, and I am in the process of saving that money up and saving up money to fix my home up where they can't say shit about it. I am in the process of that. And it's slowly, because I don't have a whole lot to save every month. I wish I did. I wish I had thousands of dollars. Well, I can't say that. I've got a little bit. Not a whole bunch, but a little bit saved up. We'll just say it like that, because people screen record me, so. But I am saving. And yes, sometimes I buy donuts every 6 months. Goods on here. You get people to send you gifts on these live streams, and you get in the content creator fund, and they send you money. That's exactly what TikTok is, a damn ATM, where you can entertain people. So, yes, it is. I'm on disability benefits. I'm not able to work. I would love to work if I was able to do so, but I'm not. So that's why I say it's slow. And everything keeps breaking around here. I just had to spend $475 on an electrical issue about my dryer. It was highway robbery. I feel like I paid 14 legs and 2 arms to fix that. It's ridiculous what people charge. I guess one of y'all paid for that anyway. It's hard. I saved my birthday money too. I can't lie. Christmas and birthday money is saved up along with it. And yeah, that's about it. Foster homes are terrible, cause long-term mental issues. And the sad thing is, because my kids was forced through the system like they were, when they have children, the system will step right back in and remove their children from their care just because. So, and my oldest daughter wants to have babies. She talked about it since she was little. She was always like a mom to the other kids. No, I didn't ask her to do that. She wanted to do it, and I would allow her to supervise, help me with the younger siblings. She didn't really do nothing other than try to feed her younger sister a bottle and fall asleep. I didn't say they're all bad. I said some of them. Some of them are bad. Some of them are just in it for the check and a free servant to clean their house. Some of them are good. Some of them, but they're in it to adopt that kid. They're in there to take that child away from its parent, to keep a child knowing that the state's going to remove it for some kind of bullshit reason 9 times out of 10. And that's why I have a problem with it. The foster family that had my oldest 3 children, the 4th one wasn't born yet, helped the DHR lady try to fabricate a lie on me to help them be able to take my children away easier. Of something really sinister. He had told them about this case that he worked on. He's a lawyer in Birmingham for the Department of Human Resources, which is CPS here. And he had talked to the social worker about this woman that he had been the DA over her case through the DHR, the CPS. She had held one of her children down and let her boyfriend SA them. And so they went to court and said that I had done the same thing with my 3-year-old daughter, and he told me that he had told them that story the day before and helped them fabricate that story on the phone, the foster dad. That he was the DA for the Birmingham DHR. And they wanted to adopt my children. And they was very mad and upset that they couldn't get them. She couldn't prove it. It was just false allegation. She got very pissy in freaking court. because she's proved out to be a dumbass and a liar. And she had coerced my daughter into agreeing with her at 3. So, how did I prove that she was a dumbass and a liar? Well, I'll tell you. I brought my 3-year-old child in there that she said that was telling that I was hurting her and her daddy was hurting her and I was allowing it. And I asked her if Miss Antonio Perez, the caseworker, had hurt her bottom. And she said, yes, Mommy, she did, right in front of the judge. And when I was stain coming out of that damn woman's ears, because I proved that she was coercing my child into saying that shit. That's how them people works. Not good. Yeah. Because of her. And that child screamed and begged and pleaded for them to let her go home with me. And at the time, I thought I was doing the best thing by letting his family have my children, that I thought I could work, and get them back. And she's 14. They had no intentions of letting that happen. And I tried, and I've been back to court I don't know how many times. And the foster parents friended me on Facebook, and when I found out I was pregnant with Addison, or I was about to deliver Addison, they told me that I couldn't take care of him, that I should just give him to them. Because that's what another woman that they had fostered for had done, because she knew that she couldn't keep or care for the child, so she just gave it to them. And that's what I should do with my son. Well, I kept my son for the first 6 months of his life. He was born prematurely. I stayed at the NICU with him and all that. And I was talked into going to the pediatrician that my ex's sister took my other kids to. He ended up catching scabies from them, me and him both. And she would refuse to treat him and wanted me to go to a specialist in Decatur, which is about an hour from Coleman. I didn't have a car because they had had my car picked up and repossessed, which it was my fault because I got put in the hospital and they stopped my check, so I couldn't afford to pay my car payment anymore because I was in the hospital for 3 months. And they stop your check after 30 days. It's like the mange for people. It's human mange. No, 3 months. 3 months. Not 3 weeks, 3 months. I ruptured at 21 weeks and stayed in there until I was 35 weeks. 3 months. Inside the hospital. Where they he had to stay in there kind of to watch me. Make sure I didn't do nothing to tell on him. Then, when I decided that I was going to leave that situation and go live with my grandmother, the nurse that was doing the home health for my son come down there and found out that she knowed my ex-sister-in-law's son's girlfriend, that her daughter and his girlfriend was best friends. So one conversation with my ex-sister-in-law, she reported me to the CPS. And they come and pick my baby up for medical neglect because I missed that doctor's appointment that she would not take me to. They never said anything about medical neglect at the hearing that they transferred custody from me to her. The reason was that they gave was because I was stupid and that they didn't think with my low IQ that I could take care of my son. because they couldn't prove medical neglect because I had took that baby to the doctor repeatedly and there was nothing wrong with my child. They done a full physical on him the night that they ripped him out of my arms while he was still breastfeeding. And it blows my mind that they said that I had a poor IQ and that I wasn't smart enough to take care of my son, but yet the woman that they gave him to couldn't graduate without being in special education. And she couldn't read or write a complete sentence. She wrote out the reason why she wanted my son, and it looked like a first grader had wrote it. Quit! Go lay down somewhere. Like she'd scribbled out words, tried to make the sentence. When you read it, it made no sense. It wasn't even spelled correctly. Which I hate writing, but anyway. And the judge was like, okay. Even when it was proven that she put my child in physical danger of domestic violence or being seriously injured by a person that had criminal charges on him for battery, they still sided against me. Thank you. Make that make sense. And everybody's like, oh, there's more to the story. No, they're not. That's it. It didn't help that my ex and his mom would go up there and talk to the DHR. He accidentally called me. And would tell them how ignorant I was and how many mental problems that I had and how all this shit that I done and make up all this bullshit that wasn't even true on me. That didn't help nothing. But I wised up. I completely alienated myself from that shit. Yeah, they are. They had an intentional plan that they was going to do. They never worked with me. They never set up any services. They never done nothing for me to try to reunite me with my child. They just transferred custody and it was done. Why would they? Just like with my daughter, they wanted me to do all this shit, but they didn't set it up for me to do it. And I set it up for myself and started doing it. And they didn't even give me time. The cheap shit from Dollar General, L.A., they wouldn't even give me time to finish it to get my certificate. And I bet you $1 that I'll have to retake all that shit for them. Thank you for the look. Oh, that's so cute. It's bullshit. What in the hell is a parenting class going to teach you how to take care of a kid? I mean, you feed it, you educate it, you comfort it, you morally support it. You wipe its ass if it needs it. You take care of it when it's sick and set up with it. I mean, it's not that difficult. I have contact with my younger daughter. My older 4 children, it's gonna be a court battle with them. It's a jail pen. It's going to be a long, tedious out court battle with screaming on their side and lying and false fucking allegations about bullshit that I supposedly done, but they have no proof. And it'll probably go in their favor because that's the way it always goes. No proof of it, just false allegations. Like the last time I went to court, her allegations against me was that I had called the school, I had called her job, and talking about how she abused them kids and tried to get her fired. And the judge said if it was proved that me or my family member done that it would look very badly on me. Well, what else are you going to do to me? I mean, you already took my fucking kids. What else are you going to do to me? There is nothing else. So what do I give a shit? What looks bad on me or not, it's over with. I don't give a shit what the fat old man judge says to me, first of all. Second of all, I don't give a shit where your ass fucking works. Enough to call it. I don't know it. I don't give a shit to know it. Second of all, I ain't called no damn school. I don't go to school. What the damn hell is school gonna do? I ain't gonna do damn shit but cause good people problems. Dumbest shit in the world. And second of all, I can't control other grown folks' actions. If somebody that I'm blood related to gets on the phone and tries to start bullshit for make me look bad or start bullshit for them because they are doing the wrong thing, I can't help that. What do you want me to do? Duct tape them? Duct tape their mouth shut? Take their phone away? I mean, Jesus Christ. I can't prevent nobody from doing something they want to do, first of all, if they did do it. Second of all, I don't have any family. I might have people I'm blood related to, but they ain't my damn family. Let's get that straight. And if she could prove it, she'd had proof in court. I cannot control other people's damn actions. And it is not my responsibility to do so. No matter if we share the same damn last name. We don't live in the house together. I can't control their actions. I don't even try to. I do, technically, but no. Don't have nothing to do with them. I completely cut ties. I just got done saying I don't have any family. So I have been talking to a good lawyer, and he wants 6 G's as a retainer. But first what I need to do is to fix my doors, my windows in here, my electrical, put down some laminate flooring throughout the whole house and fix that, redo the bathrooms so they're not leaking or nothing. Quit! Yeah, it's a lot of money. And I'm not asking nobody to give it to me. It's going to take me a while to save it up. And I'm trying. But I feel like I don't have a lot of time. The more time I wait, the more time passes, and the more they're going to say, well, they've been there with them. It's not in the best interest of that child to move them. You haven't been a part of their life. You know, even though you wasn't allowed to be, they won't say that, but you ain't been a part of their life. Don't matter that you made an effort to be in their life, you just wasn't. So, guess what? We're just going to rule against you because you don't have a relationship. Lay down and quit. That's just the way that works, ain't it? 14, 13, 12, and 9, and 5. Darned if you do, and damned if you don't. You're wrong no matter if you're right. No matter what you do, how you try to be there, you'll still be wrong. Even though the other person is in contempt of court order, you'll still be in the wrong. Because they want to make you look bad. Unless you got that good lawyer that's going to be, no, it's not going to be like that. Because she's made multiple attempts to be in that child's life and they're preventing it. We're not putting the blame on her because it's not her fault. It's their fault. But if you got one of these little court-appointed attorneys that's free, or you just got an attorney that's just wanting to cash that check in and not do shit for you, they're just standing there and just agree with the judge and say, well, this is what's going to happen. They're going to come back to you and tell you what's going to happen. The judge will side with the person that is supporting him, that helps pad his pocket. I have court-ordered visitation on all 5 of my children. The state minimum is 8 hours for my oldest 4 children a month. 8 hours a month. 30-day period, 8 hours. My youngest child is 4 hours a month. And they did say that they could give me more time if they wanted to, but they choose not to. What in the hell are you going to do? So the oldest 4 children, it's every Thursday from 2 to 4. But since they're in school, I agreed to Saturday, even though it's not in the court order. And it's supposed to be at Chick-fil-A, but because they don't want to have to spend money at Chick-fil-A, we have met at McDonald's or the park to relieve the financial strain off of them. And we have met a couple times at Chick-fil-A, but I agreed to that. They would send alternate people to supervise without even discussing it to me, and it's supposed to be we had to agree on different people supervising it, or it had to be the person that had custody of the kids. They never discussed sending somebody else to the visitation. And then somebody told them, well, you don't have to go. You can just tell the kids that they don't want to see her, they don't have to. That is actually wrong and illegal, and alienating somebody from their kids and withholding visitation is ground of losing custody. Preventing me from being in my kids' life, talking to them, being around them, when I have court-ordered visitation can result in her losing custody of all 4 children. And I may not get them back, but the state would put them in a home. And that's the reality of going to court. They could be put in foster care until it's sorted out. I'm not going to do that without an attorney. And that's what I'm waiting on. As soon as I save up, I'm going to pay for it. So she is brainwashed, gaslight my children about me, making me out to be this big villain. She could have been nice about the whole thing, let me be part of their life. Let them kids know that she's their aunt, not their mother. Instead of trying to put herself in the mother role. But she's not and never will be. Court-appointed lawyers don't do jack shit for you. Alienation is not hard to prove when you got proof that you tried to get a hold of your kids and your kids are old enough to say that she is bad-mouthing you and that she refuses to let you see the kids and that they all know that She is the reason why they can't have contact with me. So it is not hard to prove when the children are old enough to speak for themselves. It's hard to prove when the children are. Alienation is not. And even if it's not, she's interfering with my parenting time. And it don't matter what kind of excuse that she has, it's just a fucking excuse. She's interfering with my parenting time. Unless I'm doing some kind of harmful behavior to my children, she can't do that. Such as rugs or physically abusing one of them. And they're all old enough to decide. 12 is the age. All but one. And if they say, hey, I want to go to her house part of the time, that's what the judge is going to do. As long as my house can be approved. Which it will be. Very, very soon. I'm working on it. And I probably will never get full custody back of them. And I know that going into this. But I deserve to be a partial mom to my kids, and I deserve to be in their life. It wasn't fair to me, and it wasn't fair for them. So 19 is the legal age of an adult in the state of Alabama. But 12 years old is the age that the court recognizes that a child can say where they want to live. And they have to take that in consideration with everything else. It doesn't guarantee that it will happen. Yes, it is. They passed a law of 12. They can go in there and tell a judge where they want to live, and he has to take it in consideration in a custody court hearing. Will he? I don't know. If it'll make any difference, what they say. I know because many years ago, before I even had any children, there was this man that had custody of his son. And his ex-wife took him back to court. And his son was 12 years old, and he told that he wanted to live with his daddy, and that's where they put him. So it's 12 in Alabama, and they passed that law several years ago. It was back when I was like 16 or 17 years old. I remember hearing about it. It was on the freaking news up here. So they had to take that in consideration, but the court system's so corrupt here that they don't listen to them kids. They don't care what's happened. They don't care what can be proved. All they care about is getting money and just making things extremely fucking difficult. Yeah, it's 12 here too. I don't know what's going to happen moving forward, but it's got to be better than what happened in the past. It's got to be. Yeah, it's here too. It's 12. My son has been so freaking brainwashed and manipulated and gaslighted about me that I don't know what he'll say. He's a little bit harder. And Addison was stolen away from me at 5 months old, almost 6. So I don't know what he'll say either. But I'm pretty confident that both of the girls will want to spend time with me. And he will have to spend some kind of time with me, whether he likes it or not. And I hate to force that on him, but he needs to know me so he can make his own decisions about me. Not just what somebody has told him because they don't want him to hate me. So if I have to force my presence upon him so he gets to know his own mother and knows what kind of person I am, then I will have to do so. Thank you. Just like my younger son that's 9. Which I don't think I have a big problem with him, but my oldest son is opinionated like me and other people, so he'll be a little bit difficult. We've never had a great relationship, but I've tried. Get out, damn bathroom! But it's a lot of change moving forward and a lot of things. Anna! Enough! Lay down! I am going to put Anna up when I get off of here just because she's going to cause a dog fight. I have laid her out for a little while, but I'm about to put her up, get off here. Probably a lot of counseling for what? For what? They're already in counseling because of everything they've already been through. And their daddy died like he did. And them letting them know all the details of how their dad died, which kids should never know that shit. Their daddy passed away, and that's all they should know. Their daddy's gone. They should know that he was murdered. They shouldn't know how he was murdered. They're children. They didn't need to know that shit. It was hard enough to lose their daddy, much less know everything about it. There's plenty of time for them to grow up and know the awful things of this world, and it wasn't when their dad passed away in 2019. I think that's bullshit, and that was wrong too. And it's bullshit that they watch all my TikToks and then run back and tell them all kind of damn shit that I say that happened to me when I was a child. They don't need to know none of that. They don't need to know anything that happened to me when I was growing up. It's not their problem. It's not their burden or their cross to bear. It is mine. It's things that I have to work through that I experience. And they don't need to know the horrible things that happened to me. Even with their daddy, they don't need to know none of that shit. Just let them love their daddy, know that he's gone, and be done with it. Death is a complex thing, and it's really hard for a child to understand. And truly, kids need to go outside, play with butterflies, or listen to music, or hang out with their friends, and they need to be kids and enjoy life. They don't need to know nothing about the badness in it. You need to protect them from all costs and protect their minds. There's plenty of time for them to be grown-ups and hate it. Trust me. And it's raining, y'all. Guess I need to go out here and get my doggies. So I'm going to jump off of here, go back here and change your pads out at work and bring them back in the house. But I may not be a perfect person or a perfect mom, and I may make mistakes with the guys that I decided to have children with. But that is no reason for me not to have my kids, because millions of women every day make mistakes about who they've had kids with, and they still have their kids. That is not a reason. And it will never be a reason, and I will never shut up again and be quiet to protect my abusers. And people can call me a liar all they want to and tell that I'm making something up, but I lived it. I never claimed to be perfect, but I would have never let certain people run my kids. Now, I had to go back and stay at home right after my son was born, but I didn't stay very damn long there. I left. Because I couldn't put up with the things that my brother was doing, and my kids was not going to be around his lifestyle, and I pretty much had to just cut all of them out of my life. I think I went 6 months without talking to my grandmother because she was enabling my brother's behavior, and I was not going to have that around me or my children. So I completely cut him out of my life, and that's what you do when you have kids and shit. You don't invite the villain back in. There's also a multitude of other reasons why I didn't want him around. But I don't never have to think about that or be back in that place ever again because I have this place. And, you know, it may not be perfect. It may not even be big enough, really. But I'll make it work somehow until I can get something better. It can be nice. It ain't going to be like them people that has tile floors and shit in their bathroom. It won't never be that nice. But it can have new drywall and doors and window sills. And it can have new bathtubs and a sink. It won't never be the Ritz in here, but it can be decently nice. And then later on, maybe I could save up and buy me another mobile home that's bigger. I'd like to have a 4 or 5 bedroom one. Hello. But for now, this 3 bedroom, I'm going to turn it into a 4 bedroom, and it'll work. I'm going to box off a little section in my master bedroom because it's pretty big, and make a small little room with a door for my youngest daughter's room, because I'm going to turn these other 2 rooms just in case, you know. I'm hoping for the future it may never happen, but I'm going to fix my 4 other children rooms in here with bunk beds, and I'm going to put her in my room in a separate room with a door. And since everybody's like, she's got to have a window, okay, we'll give her the window. We'll give her that window right there and one of the closets. And then I'll take the rest of the room and do something, build a little, put a little lock or something on the fuse box where she can't be over there screwing with it, because it's in my master bedroom. And I don't want them to start their shit. And she'll have access to my master bathroom to take a bath and use the toilet. That is my plan, because I can't afford to buy a 4-bedroom trailer, and I'm not going to build on through the back door and cause my trailer to start leaking and rot and fall down. That's what happened to that mobile home in Crane Hill. My uncle was trying to build onto it where he could take the mobile home out and just have a house. He's going to build him a house. And he didn't put it on there correctly, so it started leaking. He didn't seam it up right. Started leaking, and the whole place rotted. Because nobody ever tried to fix it, for one. So because it's been wet behind the walls here, all the walls are coming down, even the ones that look good, because I don't know what's behind them, and I'm not going to leave it up and risk somebody breathing that in. Thank you. If that makes sense. Just because it looks okay from the outside don't mean that it don't have something behind it that I can't see. And I'm not going to risk it by leaving it up and not replacing it. But I'm going to have to get me a new door pretty soon, and a new window over here around the front door is leaking so bad. Just a little bit of rain that we got last night. There's a big puddle of water over there. That is the worst spot about the leaking. leaks around all the windows, but this is the worst spot. It's just soft. It's leaking right there. And this right here, if anybody heavier than me stands on it, just give away. It's just rotting up under here. See it? From where it's leaking. I gotta fix it. I know it ain't good. But anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. I'll get it fixed one of these years. It just takes time to save up money when you don't have a lot. I'm gonna go bring these babies back in and put them up because I ain't gonna leave them out there in the rain. Even though they got a little dog house, I ain't gonna leave them out there in it. So it's pre-existing damage. They don't pay pre-existing damage. And because it's considered flood water damage, it's no policy in the state of Alabama because it's so prone to flood here will issue flood insurance. Please, dear Jesus, send me a rich man that needs a daughter and can give me wads of money. Amen. Oh, it didn't work. Well, better luck next time. He didn't appear. Let's see. Let's try hitting my heels together. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. Damn, I'm still poor. Well, anyway, I'm going to get off here. Get my things done and plug my phone up for a little bit. Peace out, y'all. Bye.